have, what is this, Plat 2 I think? Plat 2 replay, classic Diamond Terran. Good sound. Feels quiet. Hopefully I'm not too quiet. No, I think so. I think I'm alright. Alright. Speed this up a bit. It's a very odd opener. Probably better off just skipping the overload, because it's like this kind of, the hatch kind of went down like a normal like 17, 17, 17, but it wasn't. I would suggest probably looking at, if you're using pigs bronze to GM, I would suggest looking at that. Better, the pool's late, like 8 seconds late. Is it going to get you killed? Like, not every game, but some games, yeah. If your opponent stops on time, they rock up, you already don't have enough, and then you're already behind because your pool's like 5 seconds late. Yeah, these things happen. Alright, so we saw double racks. I believe what a good typical response would be is just pumping queens, because your pool's late, that delays everything as well. So this is one of those cases where having the pool late is going to hurt, right? Because your queen's 5 seconds late. That means like the first Reaper shows up earlier. Everything just, I think we need speed as well. So as soon as we get speed, we get gas, we need to get speed. Let's go. Because we're staying on gas. 2 spines. I think I'd prefer like a spine in each, because you can always cancel the spine, right? The money for the spines has also, yeah, there we go. We finally got speed happening. We cancelled that, but we don't know how committed he is, but it looks like he's stopping at 3, I guess, which is good. But this Overlord should be here anyway for the Reaper cliff, so we can see this coming for this reason. Because this alone is going to cost us a ton of mining. This is probably going to cost us like 50 to 100 minerals in mining, and then plus or minus whatever drones, whatever lings. Terran's floating a ton of money, so he's making double, he's dropping double, so you say. He knows that that was a really good trade for him. 381 resources lost, 4 workers killed. Worker count is kind of even. He's stopped making workers for some reason, but like he feels that that's good enough. He was floating money, he's just going to go double, say. And good on him. There we go. Now we should just be making drones. We don't need to make lings anymore. He can see that, he's just not bothering to attack it. Now, you're in the fortunate position here that you can actually see exactly what he's doing here. He's pretty obviously going for stim. It'd be nice for us to have a second Overlord to come around and have a look at this. And the factory timing. These Reapers are just really making their value back, aren't they? We should just be droning. Just droning. A couple of roaches and a couple of queens will stop a small, like... And you got a spine there as well. We can't just... We can't let the queens get stuck out there like that. So my idea would be to put the spine here, to see the Reapers coming up and give them a little pokey poke, and then the queens stick together. We're finally hitting 2 base saturation, but with the Terrans... 4 mules he's on now. This is going to bump up real quick, and he's going to be miles ahead. He's clearing creep. Got a good chunk of marines there. For some reason, we're not bothering to put the roaches in our group. All he's going to do is probably just shark around, and then he's going to commit. We don't need to come out and fight this, by the way. He's got stim. Yeah, he doesn't... Yep, boom. Easy cleanup, right? Easy cleanup. Take a 3rd base. he was betting his game on this happening and killing you. He hasn't been making workers well enough to justify that. That's helped you catch up a little bit on the loss that you had earlier. Oh no, the Reapers are getting away. So now's the time to take a third base and make sure we need to fill up these patches with drones, basically. I suspect that's not going to happen. I know we are making drones, good. Chasing him back home, fantastic stuff. That's some intense micro for this level. I'm just worried we're just not ahead in workers. We're playing against an opponent that's already like 1,200 resources ahead of us. We are just blindly rallying roaches across the map. We finally fully saturated. So we're finally fully saturated in 2 base at the time we could be maxed out and have won the game already. I think you just keep making roaches here. You just keep making roaches and you make some lings and move out. Like, it's a big army, sure, but like, it's not unstoppable. I'd be biling that. I wouldn't have biled this because this can move, but that can't move. That's the worst. Nah, that's game over. There's no coming out of a fight like that. That would have cost you, yeah, that cost you a couple of thousand resources. Just not a good fight. I think the initial handling was okay, but we're left with 2 options, right? Yeah, we do require additional Zerglings. You're left with 2 options, right? After you handle the initial pressure, you kind of kept letting him get in here and do what he wanted with these Reapers, gaining extra value from it, right? You saw it was bio. Roaches aren't too bad, right? But upgrades would be nice. But the other thing is just like we are floating way too much lava, too much. We got put behind massively because of this. Look, we probably lost a couple hundred resources just from that. Every time you pull the workers away, you're potentially losing hundreds of resources, and that was a really bad one right there. He keeps you at home with this, even though he doesn't really deserve to. I don't think the supply blocks were too bad normally. Oh, this is going to be a big one actually, because we didn't realise, and we built 3 at once. But we're giving this more credit than it deserves. We can see that he's not making any more Reapers. We can just chill and make drones, and that's it. We're taking off. We have already 150 gas, and we've decided, yeah, you know what we need more gas. The answer is no, you don't need more gas. Everything that you build costs money. And nothing you build costs only gas. Money is always the most important factor, every single time. Minerals is always the most important factor. You don't need gas right now. You have enough gas here to make 4 roaches. You don't need any more. 8 roaches, sorry. Minerals would have helped you right now. You could have already had roaches and been marching across the map. But because we decided that we needed extra gases, that didn't happen. So it's about a fine balance, right? If you rocked up here with like 8 roaches, he just dies. He's dead. What's he doing here? He hasn't even got a factory out. He's got, oh, okay, 3rd CC, that's real helpful when he's dead. You got ling speed, right? So you could just go, literally make 8 roaches, and then just flood lings behind it, break his wall down, and then get in and kill him. And he wouldn't have anything that he can do about this. Does he move out straight after that? No. Which is odd. Floating a lot of money as well, like he could have been way more efficient here and he just wasn't. Not even muling well. So I think this is probably a Terran that's in the right realm. All of his money just disappeared. I reckon he's banking it up. Oh no. He just happened to spend it all on a good lot of units. But yeah, I think you got a good scout here. You got lucky that it was on their space. Make some queens to stay alive. Do not pull the drones. Overlord over to here so you can see him jumping up and down. Just didn't have the queens on a hot group, on a hotkey or something. You did, or did you have them back here though? No, we didn't. So the queens probably should be on a hotkey. We need vision of this. The Overlord doesn't need to go out to here. He probably needs to be like here so he can catch everything coming up towards the Reaper wall. This was an awesome scout, by the way. Like, I don't think this is appreciated quite as much as it should have been. But yeah, I think you had a lot of potential here to just win this, but making the 2 spines and cancelling them, all these things cost you, this cost you money, right? Cancelling them cost you money, and then you ended up making a spine anyway. Just don't half commit. Because we're already like in a position where we're not ahead in workers. We've got a huge boost in workers, and then we lost a bunch here as well, right? Insane value, really, from a handful of Reapers. Like, they cost a lot of money, but yeah, he's got really good value from that. Drop a Roach Warren earlier off less drones without the double gas, and just march across the map. You might even get lucky and deny this. I built the spine. Spine could have been closer as well, because the Reaper could still come down here if he has enough of them, right? If he lures you up to here with the Reapers, and he knows the Queens are up there, he could come down here and just like snipe off a bunch of drones and then get out before the Queens even come down again. Right? We need to be thinking about what's our opponent's next step. The gases is just, it's never good. To get 5 drones like that is pretty nice, honestly. That's a really good start. You survived it. Not great. You survived it, not great, but then the kind of next phase was a bit messy. I feel like you had enough stuff to push him back. You could have easily done more, or been quicker with it, but yeah, taking all your drones off minerals and just chucking them onto gas like that does not help you. What does this one say? No idea how to deal with this. It seems OP. That's because it's Protoss. It's a shorter game, so I think this might be some sort of all-in or whatever. We see the probe. The probe's non-threatening at the moment, and it leaves. So there should be no real concern for him having a base or anything there. But what does concern me though is the probe sort of came from this angle. Yeah, so he came back here and had a scout and then went back in. It's always something to worry about. If they come from a weird angle that isn't straight to their base, it's worth keeping an eye on, or having a little scout and having a look. But the Queens, everything's better timed this game, which is good. Has he got any units? He's got the 1 adept, which is going to shade down. We've got lingers ready. Did we catch it? We didn't catch it. He's just like shading and being a pest. That's fine. We probably need to stop making lings, honestly, and just make more Queens. We have no idea what he's doing here. Right? Okay. So that's our units. Cops a huge supply block right here. We built 2 spores. I think the reaction time on the spores is really good, actually. Action time on the spores is really good. We've got another round of Queens coming, so we're on 5 Queens. So we're going to be on 6 Queens, which is really nice. We are taking this gas, but this gas is still here, right? We don't need to be taking a gas when our current gas is not being used. I'd love to see a spore come down here. This is obviously not good. We just need to be making drones. We just want to be, was it 4S? 4SD, hold the D key down, and just make drones during everything. Unless you are literally in the position, I don't know why you'd make it here, because we might forget to even bring it up. I would like to have it like here or even here. But unless you're actively using your army, like, you should be making drones, right? What are we doing here? We're building something. A wall. We don't know if he's taken a 3rd yet. And quite frankly, I don't think we care. But we're behind. We're behind in workers, right? We're behind in workers. We've traded worse. Nothing is looking like it's going our way at this stage. We built a bunch of lings. We could have had just drones, right? He's shown you literally 2 units On four gateway, you could beat four gate with just a handful of roaches, honestly, and the amount of lings you've got. What does scare me though is there's no vision here. So, and here, so an overlord here or an overlord here would be great. I understand that he's got void rays. You could always get speed if you really want to try and keep them alive. But these ones like these overlords here show that you're not actively trying to save them. They're just where they are because that's where they are. He's gone for air units, and we're going for a roach warrant, and I get the idea is like we could just bully him down with roaches, but I don't think at this level that ever really works because you're only just catching up on the worker count, but he's been ahead for a while, and his army's a little bit easy to use, his defenses are a little bit easy to use. Where you don't have vision is always where the prism ends up. Right? They're gonna know. They'll notice things like this when they bring their prism in. They'll look around and they'll see the creep doesn't go right to the end. They'll see there's no overlord watching, and boom, that's where they're gonna warp in. And you'll go, oh no, it's just a little space here. How could they do that? Well, it's because it's very easy when you're actually controlling the Protoss to have a look at that. The prism here. That was very lucky.
Complete.
We obviously don't notice it, even though there's red on the map. Just F2. We don't need to even like come down and grab them. We can just F2, A, and click here, and they'll run up. They don't need any much more commanding than that. There's no +1 on these as well. Looks like there's no +1 coming. This is going to be a pretty easy one for us to just hold. We need to get in front of the zealots though. We really want to get in front of the zealots so we can just hold them in position. And behind this we could probably almost drone. Now when he starts warping in all these, then we're in trouble. Why are we letting this army build up right outside our base like this though? The longer this goes, the more trouble you're going to be in. He's got 9 gateways. You've only got 3 hatcheries. Alright, so F2, A move, just go for it. Just go for it. He's not even bothering to do like stasis or anything like that, or stasis wards or anything to like try and trap your army. We don't want the queens to get engaged because we obviously need them for getting rid of the void rays and stuff. Hydras are putting in work. This is a win. We're just gonna keep transfusing, keep making stuff. We're probably floating like, we're floating a handful of lava. We got this. Now we don't got it though. So we let him build up too long out the front of our base, and we died. That's it. That's just how the game works, honestly. You saw what he was doing. You let him do it for way too long. When you had more than enough stuff. At any point here, I think you had more than enough stuff to kill this. Like, look at the army value. Just bring it. Just bring it all. Bring every queen. You've got a queen here as well. Bring all the queens. Even bring the spore, whatever you want, and just deal with it. F2, A move it. Because the Archon is adding so much extra. We keep backing up. A 9-gate Protoss is not really a joke. Like we don't have anything on his side as well to see that he's expanding. Like he might be taking a 3rd or 4th behind this. He could afford it too. Right? He's just walked into a supply cap. That's the only reason this didn't get worse. Right? If we go to his screen, he could have easily done another huge warp in, right? But luckily he's supply blocked. So are we. But unfortunately we have queens that aren't really taking good fights. We could have transfused here. Did we get a transfuse somewhere? I'm seeing transfuses popping off, but we're not probably getting them where we should have when we needed them, because that queen had a lot of energy, the one that died. That's it. So not enough. Look, honestly, I don't rate Zerglings, so this was like he shouldn't have got as much done as he did with the void rays. It keeps you at home for a lot longer. There was no oracle harass with this as well. He just made workers like Protoss should not be out working you this early in the game, right? Your goal as a Zerg is to just is to pump drones besides your handful. Like, make these 10 lings, and then everything else you're holding the D key for. That's it. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters at all. You can scout, you can do whatever you want, you can look around, spread creep, but you need to be spending the lava as like your primary thing. When do we get ahead? We get ahead like a minute before he attacks, we get like a handful of drones ahead, and that's it. I don't really want the health bars on all of them. Or do I? Either way. This game and the last game, we're not making enough drones. Zerg is a punching bag of a race. It means you need to be looking out for your opponent. Your opponent kind of gets to dictate the pace of the game, and because of that, you're the punching bag, and you just need to be a better punching bag and give them something. Give them the right tools to punch into, that you don't just fall apart. This is very lucky they didn't have +1, or this would have shredded everything already. But again, because we don't have our work account where it needs to be, we're not getting what we want out of this. The hydralisks are really good, but roaches would have just been better. Hydralisks requiring 2 small upgrades to be good, and the roach warren, that's good, you're getting speed, but like I think just a handful of roaches would have been better here. The supply cap, exactly when we don't need it. I think the fight's over, sort of, as the overlords pop, and the game's lost already. So a lot of time spent there that should have just been holding the D key and making drones when you need to. Though the early game needs to be drone heavy for a reason. So that's that one. Well, that's those two. So hopefully that helps. Basically, yeah, you just need to hold the drone key. It's not a euphemism. It's not a joke. Yeah, Bane Nest would have handled it as well. Bane Nest can be tricky though, because like you need to constantly be refreshing the Banes, and it can be a lot for a platinum player to kind of keep recycling, making the Zerglings, and then making the Banes in time for the next wave, because it's very quick for, I think it's every 30 seconds for a wave of Zealots, and that was a 9 gate. So Banes would have absolutely shredded it, especially with the help of the Queens and that. But yeah, that's just kind of how it is. We just need to practice making sure that our early game's clean, and we're getting to like 2 base saturation as quickly as we can with the drones. Make a handful of lings, and then we're just droning. You should be basically getting to like 30 drones at 3 minutes, 40 drones at 4 minutes, that kind of thing, and then you can get to 66 by 6 minutes very easily and still make a ton of lings. It's more than doable. It just maybe you just need to practice it against the AI for a little bit and get that muscle memory happening, so it's a little bit cleaner for you.